And we are live. Hi, fellas. Um, Finally got the Google Hangout to work. So we are right now at the University of Birmingham, Alabama library. I get to hide in here in one of the study rooms. I might get kicked out at any moment, but for now, I just hope to use this next few minutes. I'm hoping maybe anytime between 15 to 30 minutes to kind of talk about Dynasty, the Dynasty Mind, what's on your mind regarding the Dynasty world. How are you improving as an owner? As my series of videos are all saved up on this channel, on the FakePigSkin channel, you can visit the previous episodes to kind of talk about what it is to become a dynasty player, how you can start shaping your process, what are the questions you need to ask yourselves, and also how you can become a better fantasy football owner. As I believe that dynasty football can really have a good trickle-down effect on the rest of the different formats that you're playing fantasy football on, including redraft as well as daily fantasy football. So let's start. Today we'll be talking a little bit about trading. One of the most, it could be fun or it could be a very much a living hell for people who wants to trade, who wants to be involved in trading. I do find it that trading happens a lot more frequent in that dynasty format than in the redraft format, and you can get better at it, get better at trading players and pieces in a dynasty format than you can in a redraft, just because you have a different ways of building team. You can be you don't have to win this year, or you're trying to go for shaping up a better team while giving off really promising assets that shows potential, and those are coveted as well, even though they haven't put up points yet this year. So talking today in 2017 seasons, we are in week 6. If last week wasn't an indication for you to start trading, week 6 definitely is a time to begin hammering out talks, begin talking and negotiating with fellow league mates to just get some trading done, because your team is now shaping up to go towards one direction or another. Whether you are forfeiting this year and hope to build for next year, whether your team is beginning to show promise, but you are realistic about your chances of just even getting into the playoffs, because that's all we worry about right now in any dynasty fantasy football, is your team can get to the playoffs. Because once the playoffs starts, anything can happen and a lot of things will change. But for now, your record may help you find indication, or maybe perhaps not your record, but even your potential, your points scored, how your roster is shaping up to be. It's not really a time to definitely say I'm about to give up, or a time to say that I am winning a championship, but it is really a pivotal time, because we are crossing into the second quarter mark, or we're closing in on half the season. For anyone playing your typical dynasty or fantasy football, your regular season usually spans between week 1 through week 14, 13 or 14. So we're really close to the halfway mark of the regular season, and more than over a quarter of the way into the whole fantasy season. So things are moving fast, and you should be moving fast as well. Today I was hoping to kind of share some of the trade stories. I've tried to elicit some people to share about their trading stories that could help us get an idea of what you should or shouldn't be doing, maybe something to laugh at. But again, none didn't get any sent in today. But that doesn't matter. We're going to talk a little bit about the overall idea of trading. Trading is an art and a science. There's no way around it. The one thing that is underestimated when it comes to trading is with regards to just being able to communicate. You have to engage your fellow league mates to begin trading, and that takes a lot of social skills. And I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of basic social skills, but one of the things that I think is important is to not come off as being smarter than your trading partner, sounding smarter, or trying to get over him with a trade. A lot of us, myself included, we love it if we win a trade or if we can just pass on assets that we think are less than useful on our team for more useful pieces like picks or players for our own team. But at the end of the day, if you are blatantly trying to pull a fast one on your league mates, you can be sure that it would shut them down from trading with you in the future. Or in certain cases, I've seen people trading with others to spite me just because I was young, I was stupid. Of course, I've done many kind of underhanded type of trading. But now things have changed a lot more. Information is more readily available. You can bounce off ideas, bounce off trades with other people on YouTube. I'm sorry, not YouTube, on Twitter, or even email into shows, into a lot of brilliant minds. And it's really not that much of an edge anymore to try to pull a fast one. Right now, you are trying to just get to know your league mates, try to get to know where they're at, what they're looking for in their team. The most difficult ones I honestly have to deal with are people who have no idea, has no idea where their team is headed, and they have a player or a pick that you would want. And it's more helpful if you try to engage them, get them to start thinking about what directions they want to take their team, and then maybe hammer out a trade further down the line. But if you're talking to an owner who has a clear idea of what kind of pieces would benefit their team, and you can complement them and they can complement you as well, that is a fantastic way to get started with a trade. So those are two of the extremes where clear cut whether a trade can be made or versus a trade that cannot be made. But a lot of times our trading usually falls in somewhere in between. We're unsure, we're not entirely sure, but we want to take a chance on a player that's on another team. You might be finding yourself trying to go for a potential upside player. Well, that's the reason why the owner has that player in the first place, is because of its potential upside. So you have to be willing to pay for that upside. You have to also be willing to have an idea of how much you're willing to pay for a certain upside, and you cannot strong arm your trading partner into lowering their asking price just because it doesn't fit your idea. It's okay to walk away. Things will change at every week. There's a game played every week that something happens on the field or off the field will change the value, and you can revisit it later. Maybe you just saved yourself from not trading for X, Y, and Z player. Just this now, an example I can give. Just recently, I've made a trade. In the beginning of the year, I refused to trade away Odell Beckham Jr. Well, come week 6, now that he's injured, I have to consider what is OBJ's future. OBJ is still a top asset. He still has value, and would be a wonderful asset to have for any team that does not see themselves contending. But you would still like to kind of go forward in this year. You're still in the midst of contending. So why not try to engage an owner who has a surprising asset on their team? Try for a Kareem Hunt. Maybe you add a little bit more to OBJ. As absurd as that sounds to some of you, it's something that I think is worth discussing if you are really investing in this season. Try for Kareem Hunt. Try for Todd Gurley. Try for some asset that will help you this year. And I'm not saying just to make a straight up trade or make any trade just because it suits you well, but try and negotiate. A package is always feasible. I mean, a package is always great, but sometimes you just gotta work to see how it works with your partner. So those are some of the things you have to think about, whether it fits your what you're trying to do, what your goal is for 2017. You can make these short-term goals while also looking farther ahead in time. And that's what Dynasty has been about for me. And I hope that that will be helpful for you. Just looking down 3-4 years down the line has not helped anyone, regardless of what the trendy philosophy was 2 years ago. But yeah, kind of start thinking about where you want to be in a year, where your team hopes to benefit from. Um, always my philosophy in when it comes to trading is pay for the assets and be willing to shell out. I hate lowballing. If you approach me with a lowball offer, you will not hear back from me. You will only get an instant reject. Even though I've described multiple times on Twitter how I would rather prefer a comment or even a counter offer would be nice to kind of see how far off I am. And my way of approaching a trade usually, typically, is to, and I'm not saying I'm not guilty of trying to lowball. I have done that. But I'm trying to move away a little bit away, and I'm learning to move away from that kind of mindset. But to offer a strong opening offer, make one that makes sense for both of you, even though it may be a little bit under, at least you can get the conversation started. The discounts that people expect when it comes to players who are slumping, like for example, Amari Cooper, who's slumping right now, people expect a massive discount from you for some reason. I know people try to offer me Jeremy Curley and a Jalen Ramsey package, which I never understood. But that to me is a terrible way of thinking about discounts. Discounts come more in maybe 5%, 10%, rather than 50%, 75% that you would want. And that is how I approach a trade, because I don't want the owner who just lost an asset, who are handling with a slumping asset, to be thinking about, oh, people are going to be, there's blood in the water. People are trying to get a fast one over me, because you'll make fantasy football less fun in that quick way, trying to strong arm someone to giving you a massive discount. In the same way, I don't. I would appreciate if a proposal comes in with a comment. That's nice too, because you can start off by asking them, hey, this is kind of where I'm at, what I think might help you and how it would help me. If you disagree, I'm open to talking and counteroffer. So as you can see, trading has a lot to do with your ability to communicate ideas, rather than trying to strong arm your trading partner into giving up assets that you would really want. So I was kind of hoping to have some more engagement, but that's fine. Send me your stories. Send me some of your trading successes. I think we learn more from successes than we do from failures at times. And try to see what is a best way for you to open up an offer, or for you to just create a good trading relationship, because chances are the person who you traded with that has a good experience, regardless of the outcome, you'll have greater chance in the future to kind of make these trades with the similar partners. And you'll also show others that you are reasonable and that you are willing to make the trading experience pleasant for everyone in the league. So that's it for today's Dynasty Mind. Just comment if you have any thoughts about future ideas of what you want for Dynasty football. What do you want to sharpen your process? What questions you might have? Hopefully I can pose some of these questions to some of the more renowned experts of Dynasty in the Twitterverse and get some answers out of those. Visit us at FakePigSkin.com. We have a lot of great contents coming up. And a little bit one of the articles that I'm always looking forward to every week is the Daily Fantasy article, because I know our man Justin Tart has been posting straight fire GPP recommendations, and I've been winning a lot of the GPPs with his recommendation. So visit us at FakePigSkin.com. $3.99 a month, a full month access to our content. And we not only cover fantasy football, we cover all types of fantasy sports, including NASCAR, MMA, baseball. Basketball is upcoming soon, and we'll have that as well. So visit us, ask questions, ask us how you can find out more about our writers and our contents that are up there. in fakepigskin.com. Thank you for visiting and hope you enjoy the show.